But it's not that nothing has been happening. It's that there are things that have been happening, but I think there is a real possibility that even bigger, even greater, even more decisive historic sorts of things can potentially happen in the future. And so rather than being discouraged, I think the Korean people can be encouraged by what is happening and can be praying and working towards even greater things to come. In addition to that, I don't know if you've noticed, but the Trump administration has canceled many meetings with South Korean counterparts. I talked with a top leader in the Trump administration who personally said to me, "We know that South Korea is in crisis." When I spoke at the White House complex about the imprisonment of Pastor Sun, this report went directly to Vice President Vance. Vice President Vance said to Prime Minister Kim, "You must release Pastor Sun." And he was released right after that. So there's actually a bunch of things that you can look at that the US has been involved in. Reportedly, Trump is not happy that Lee Jae-myung has been agreeing to the economic agreement with the United States to invest money into the United States and US enterprises, and then not doing it, and having all sorts of excuses and delays and saying, "Oh, the legislature needs to do something. Oh, I'm going to limit it. Instead of 350 billion, I'm going to do maximum of 20 billion per year. Oh, I can't do it for this reason. I can't do it for that reason." And right after agreeing with Trump, saying to the Korean media, "I'm not going to do that. Am I crazy? I'm not going to do that." Trump, as he's realizing that, is reportedly mad about that and does not find that to be acceptable. And so that's also another piece of what's going on here. When there was a question about the raid on the Osan Air Base and the raid on churches, and that was asked to Lee Jae-myung during their meeting, Lee Jae-myung said, "Oh, we got permission from the United States military for that." President Trump asked his military leaders, "Did you give this guy permission to do that?" They all said, "No, we did not." So he learned that Lee Jae-myung was blatantly lying to him. So the fact that you have somebody from the US who has been nominated by President Trump to be the presidentially nominated, I think soon to be Senate confirmed ambassador to the United States, who is against the Chinese Communist Party, whose family escaped from North Korea's communist regime, who is fluent in Korean, lived her first 20 years here in Korea, who suffered from election fraud in her election to the US House of Representatives. This is also a very significant thing as well. Yes. And I'll also mention this. The all-out attack, unprecedented attack by the Lee Jae-myung administration against Coupang, which is a US Fortune 150 company that has 30-some million Korean customers. It's like the Amazon of Korea. For Lee Jae-myung's administration to attack it in so many ways, to say they should be afraid to go bankrupt, that we are going to put record fines on them, that we are doing early dawn raids of their company, that we are interrogating all these people who are there, that we are criminally prosecuting the interim CEO of there, that we are trying to humiliate him in the National Assembly. This is not acceptable to America and to America's government. So there has been a formal investigation launched by the House Judiciary Committee there has also been a Section 301 action by the U.S. Trade Representative Office. There is further an additional arbitration action that can be pursued under the U.S.-Korea Free Trade Agreement, where they tried to negotiate about it. The negotiations failed, and so now the U.S. can pursue an arbitration case against Korea along these lines. And there are a bunch of people in Congress who are saying, hey, you're discriminating against U.S. businesses here. This is not acceptable. So I guess I want to emphasize that there actually have been a bunch of things that have been going on. And I actually think that the trend will be that there will be more things happening in the future. And I really pray that there will be huge, historic things that can happen even in the near future in regards to the Korean Peninsula, in regards to South Korea, but even in regards to North Korea as well. And so this is not the time to be discouraged or in despair about that. I think we should be encouraged by that and look at what's happening around the world. What the U.S. did with respect to Venezuela, what the U.S. is doing with respect to Iran, what the U.S. is doing with respect to Cuba. I would love to think that Northeast Asia, he recently went to China, met with Chairman Xi, and Korea as a key part of Northeast Asia. I would look forward to the spotlight and the focus being on Northeast Asia after some of these other things are resolved. But President Trump has been awfully busy with a lot of things that he's been doing. But it's not that nothing has been happening. It's that there are things that have been happening, but I think there is a real possibility that even bigger, even greater, even more decisive, historic sorts of things can potentially happen in the future. And so rather than being discouraged, I think the Korean people can be encouraged by what is happening and can be praying and working towards even greater things to come.
실제로 그 트럼프 대통령과 그 이재명이 지난해 8월 25일 날 백악관에서 정상회담했을 때 그만 말씀하신 대로 트럼프 대통령이 이재명에 만나기 3시간 전에 한국에는 레볼루션과 퍼시 공산주의 혁명과 숙청이 감행되고 있다라고 했고 또 그 뒤로도 중국 공산당이 한국에 많은 걸 개입하고 있다에 대해서 경고를 했는데 이 정도면은 트럼프 대통령은 금방 말씀하신 대로 한국에 대해서 상황을 너무 잘 알고 있다. 근데 현재 한국에는 너무 공산화가 진행이 많이 되고 이재명 정권이 입법부 장악하고 행정부 장악하고 사법부 장악하고 언론을 장악해서 사실상 이재명 독재 전체주의로 가고 있다.